usually do this on the weekends, but for those of you that there he is. Those
Hey,
hey,
I'm not going to be here for that. Good.
Know why that I'm free to do this. We had a huge blizzard that basically locked us in. So that's why you get a special live 6 o'clock thing on a Saturday, and Bobby's showing up live at 6 o'clock on a Saturday too.
I'm showing up for only a few minutes because I've got my cousin here, and I wanted to congratulate you formally. That was an awesome win, man. I'm really
yeah, that's great. Yeah,
that's freaking awesome. I was elated. So that was great.
I was stoked, man. That's a and you know what? It's somebody, I don't know. It kind of triggers a lot of different Twitter accounts for kind of like either following me or commenting. There's like one site that basically tracks like the top performer in that particular tournament somehow, and they made the point of saying, hey, it's not easy to hold off all those 150 guys, the E Hafners and all these freaking guys, and it's not, even when I thought I was completely home free, even after everybody congratulated me like an hour before it ended, I still had worries about Drew Holiday coming in to get me, So that thing's really tough. And I ended up winning free and clear by like a lot. So that was, I mean, obviously, I've never won that thing before, so
I've only won it a few times, and I'm very impressed, and I'm very happy for you. It's well deserved. Great stuff. And I like that our guy Killian Hayes made the lineup. How about that?
He did.
Killian Hayes for the win.
Let's go. He did.
And I low key am trying to pull his sheets right now and win the other lottery. I'm in 14th.
In which?
In the golf.
Oh, let's go. Do you have a shot or no?
I have Zalatoris, List, Rahm, and Palmer.
Okay.
And then I've got, unfortunately, Thigala sort of fell apart. And I have Mito Pereira, who's just wrapping up. But they're on 18. If I can get anything out of them, I can maybe bump up a little bit. I'm sort of jumping back and forth between like 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 20th. So that's where I'm at.
This is the what's it called?
200K for first.
Right, but what's it called? It's called the
15
pitch and putt. No,
the pitch and putt.
The pitch and putt. Okay, I'm gonna get that up right now. So that's I gotta get that lobby up. So you're in what place right now?
I was 14th a minute ago, and now I am 17th.
17th. So I got it.
I could use. I don't know what's happening with Pereira and Thigala on the last hole, the 18, which should be a good hole for them. Unfortunately, Pereira's double bogey just sent me back quite a little bit because that was looking pretty good for a minute. And these chip-ins, everybody's chipping in there aren't my guys, unfortunately. Like,
I think the Horschel chip-in was pretty brutal.
The Horschel one was the brutal one. That was what's been killing me. And I played a lot of Horschel, and I played a lot of Neiman, and these guys are coming back to get me a little bit. But I'm
teetering on the literally on the brink of the cash line. I'm sharing my screen in the FanDuel monster. I'm 6 for 6, and I can't even freaking close this out.
Oh, you're closing out.
No, I don't know. It's tough. It's between keep on going back and forth. And I don't have Rahm or Zalatoris, so we got to. Turns out that Gary Woodland, after all my whining, was kind of my hero. Kind of keeping me together here. So we'll see about that. And I'm in pace to get really close to cashing. Right now I'm cashing in the 555 on DraftKings with 5 out of 6. But it's tough to win 5 out of 6, man. I mean, like, you run out of holes. It's We'll see what happens. We'll just see what happens.
I mean, so I guess basically what I need is the 1, 2, 3, 4 and I need a separation with Zalatoris, List, Rahm, and Palmer, which is still doable. It's definitely doable. There you got 2 1s and a 2 and a tie, whatever. Tie 2 1s, a 3, and a tie 4. So let's go.
Yeah, I'm with you. Oh yeah, the guy that's got you by 8 holes, he's the one that Horschel. Oh, that's such a torturous chip.
What a chip, I know. And it's like, that could have been a bogey too. Like that thing, it just really could have gone very different.
Hey, and shout out, by the way. So we spoke about this the other day, that we want to start to get more people on to like do some content. Ooh, Zalatoris is screwed over here. Bobby mentioned, he always mentions that he has these secret guys that know about golf. One of them we know from the site, for one of his good friends, Kenny knows about golf. We're going to get him on there. But he also has these kind of like secret golf golf sources.
Yep.
And I remember a couple of times you mentioned that they think it's going to be a good Jason Day and a Justin Rose year, and the two of them are just freaking doing it today.
Yep.
I mean, obviously Day is kind of like fading a little bit, but hey, I wouldn't
That's
trade
pretty
that.
great stuff still from where we, where he
Yeah, and Justin Rose with a -5 on a tough course today.
Yep.
So we gotta get those guys on here to help with the content a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll do it. And I'm going to say right now, just I know we'll talk about, you guys are going to talk NBA and stuff, but like I'm just going to say Theegala and Theegala. You mentioned Aaron Rai last week you had a bunch of them, and Theegala, Aaron Rai, and that other kid who's Cam. What's his name? Cameron Young.
Okay.
Those are the guys I'm going to be. But again, now they're not secrets anymore, unfortunately, because everybody's now starting to notice what they're doing. But they're awesome. So those are my guys that I've been told that are the guys I have to bet on.
Yep.
Anyway, I just wanted to come on and say hello. I'm going to go and do some family stuff and stuff like that, if it's okay. I didn't look at the NBA stuff today.
Will Zalatoris just hit like the greatest shot ever from that freaking rough. That was amazing.
Did he?
Yeah, he had really. I mean, he had no chance. And
I didn't even. I'm still on delay, I guess, because I'm still watching him approach.
Oh, okay.
He hit the greatest shot I've ever seen yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah. He hit one off of, and then it almost went in, and it was like, okay, so you're going to add this. They're talking about, okay, this is the best he's going to go, a 1 over here, maybe 2 over, and he freaking nails it, almost makes a birdie on it. Anyway, man, just wanted to say congrats, guys. Appreciate you all. I don't have a whole lot of insight today because I didn't look at NBA, and I'm doing family stuff and everything, but I just wanted to say hello and congrats.
Okay. All right. So I just wanted a couple of announcements here. I updated the sheets as of now, which is includes Hernangomez and all this stuff. But just so you guys know, FanDuel is still not updated yet. I'm just still waiting for a couple of things on FanDuel. So if you look at the FanDuel sheet, you'll still see, I think, Valanciunas in, and maybe even a 0 projection for Hernangomez. So obviously, I'm gonna tweak that forthwith. Let's put it that way. Just part of the thing about the weekends is, remember, these are all just derivatives of other human beings that create these models, and I access like all of them, and even on the weekends sometimes like certain models take a little while to update, or they don't even update at all, and that's part of what makes the weekends a little bit softer, is because not everybody's 100% on their game. So that kind of includes me. I'm doing the best I can to get this stuff updated on the weekends, but it's hard. So I did kind of manually do it a little bit for the DraftKings, but FanDuel and Yahoo didn't quite get there. First of all, you were saying about the FanDuel? Yeah, exactly. I'll within 10 minutes, I should be able to put something up. Certainly by 6:30. But nonetheless, I mean, Hernangomez is going to be a smash play, and don't play Valanciunas. So I guess I do want to just kind of comment for just like literally 5 minutes about yesterday. And again, Bobby would get mad at me at this, because like Bobby, does, I really don't like the screenshotting in general, but Bobby says I should do it and whatever. And I kind of enjoy it, but just remember, and this is the really important when you're dealing with content and content providers and things like that, and screenshotting, it's very natural. This is what happens. Somebody plays like 150,000 lineups, and they do a whole process to get to this whole portfolio of lineups, and one lineup happened to have been the one to win. And then what people do is they, you post the winning lineup, and everybody's like, "Ooh, you see what he did here? He put this guy in here, and don't you see how this correlates with this? And don't you see how he intentionally did this?" Dude, let me tell you something. That's just not reality. Okay, that's just not the way it happens. That's not the way it works. And do not allow any content providers to convince you of otherwise, or even not convince you, to even let you feel otherwise, because it's completely irresponsible. What you do in tournaments like that, when you get there, is you build a portfolio of lineups, and the one that happens to get there is just one of that whole portfolio. I mean, if you told me, like which of those lineups was, I didn't even know that really existed, that particular lineup. I mean, I knew, like, going, as of the day was going on, I was tracking it, but I didn't intentionally make it like that. It was just kind of the process that I used to construct lineups. Like, for example, like and this is another important point, is that the 30 lineups that I put in that tournament were not necessarily the same types of lineups I would put in the bigger ones. Like I'll tell you, like my bigger buy-in yesterday, I did what most people did. I mean, I took all the chalky Laker guys. You know, I played maybe like 3 of them. I played like Westbrook and Horton Tucker and I forget who else, Carmelo and somebody else. And yeah, I'm getting there, Green Monster. Um, and I ran it back with LaMelo, right? And I thought that was like the best, most the best, most solid way to play. And it all busted, right? And that was in the 555s. But in the 20, in the 10, I don't play that way. You know, I just kind of just like I kind of let it roll a little bit and I just stay uncomfortable. And that's the way you got to put yourself in the position to win those big lottery tournaments. Can you build GPP lineups using your optimizers on the site? Okay. Yes, you can. And I'll show you. Should I do it today? I'll just show you. You can, but I will tell you that it is not nearly as robust as as any of the other ones, honestly. I mean, we have something up there, so if you want to do it, I mean, you can. Like here, this is the NBA optimizer. And if you wanted to, you could just either load your own projections or load my defaults up here. And this is like developing as we speak. And then what you could do is you could take the top, I don't know, let's say 10 lineups. And let's say 1 unique, and you could put a max peon or something, whatever. And then you could do that. And depending on how it's working today, let's see if you can get 10 up there within a reasonable period of time. I know Evan, our developer, has been really, really working on this to try to get it faster and to do more lineups. So maybe today it's a little bit testy, or maybe it needs a rest. So this is work in progress. But yes, I mean you can, but I wouldn't consider them GPP. Oh, I'm not sharing it. Oh, I'm sorry. This is my bad. Apologize. Yeah, sorry about that. So yeah, it's within the premium tools here, and it's really not. Yeah, I got you, Brian. I got you. I always share the screen. Sorry about that. I just didn't have it going on here. So I wouldn't say that you could, to be totally honest, I wouldn't say that you could create a GPP type build using our optimizer yet. Okay, because it's not just about creating the optimal results, right? That's not really what a GPP lineup is. I mean, you could go ahead and then do a max peon of something, and now you're kind of getting there. But I honestly use you should probably use one of the external ones if you really want to have an optimizer build the GPP lineups. I mean, that's if I'm gonna, what does the kids say, keep it real. I mean, that's just the way it is. We're really just this is in beta in development. And see, even put on the spot, I can't even create 10 lineups right now. So it's getting there, but not quite yet. Okay, let me see if I can't. And somebody had asked me, I don't know if I want to do it today. Talk about my process, and Canine Bronco, somebody said right in there, I've done this. I talk about my process literally every day that I'm doing this. Like when I build I literally build these things during the live stream. I did a specific video on how I use the different optimizers. But I'll continue to do it. Yeah, Kleber's 30th birthday, by the way, which is also somewhat surprising. Let me see if I can get a FanDuel. It's going to be really annoying if I have to manually do the FanDuel one because crap. All right, I'm gonna have to make a call on what to do here. All right, this is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to manually do it. Hold on. So this is now, this really just kind of irks me a little bit, but in the name of expediency, I guess, I am going to do this manually. It's going to be not exactly as accurate, but we will survive. All right, so hold on. It's this one, and what I have to do is I want to compare this dude. Sorry about this, but I do want to get this at least somewhat right here. So we're gonna have to change Hernan Gomez. I'm gonna give him about 30, 38. Sound right? About right? Yeah, about 38. We're gonna have to give Hart 33, right? So let's do that. Hold on a second. So let's go. Hernan Gomez. We give him 38, and then we're gonna give Hart 33. Keep the rest the same. Got to get rid of Valanciunas. Valanciunas. And we're going to rerun it. And then we'll do this. Hold on, just give me 1 second. Sorry about this. But I know people do play the FanDuel, and I want to have something somewhat intelligent up here. So let's redo FanDuel and just make sure this works. See, I'm already running into. That's not that bad. Hold on. You got plenty of time anyway. Let me see. Let's see if it shows up. And if it does, then we will load it. 1 sec. And again, that's just for fun. I will do a build here on using SaberSim. Yeah, he's in. Okay, good. So yeah, I have a 74% ownership, by the way, also. So let me upload this, and then we'll be able to roll. Let's see what I got here, and we gotta keep checking the news just in case. Now, unfortunately, Yahoo isn't up to date, but something's got to give. So we gotta. Unfortunately, Yahoo is going to have to take the heat today. You guys will know, hopefully, not to play Hernan Gomez on Yahoo. All right. So we're watching this to make sure that I cash in this monster here. And let me pull up the sheets for, since you're here for the weekend, let me pull up my sheets for today for the NBA and take a look at them. And let's see if we can't get through, do some substantive analysis also, because that's, part of my process, believe it or not, is really just interlaying my own thoughts on top of all this stuff. Like this, you know what I did yesterday? Do you really want to know the truth? I scrambled to get all the projections updated with all the Laker news, and then I ran SaberSim builds, and then I looked at them like Steven Adams was getting I was getting 40% Steven Adams, and I just don't like playing him, so I literally X'd him out. Now, you imagine this, but you X out a guy where your models and your runs want to give you 40% of them, you're immediately you're immediately different. Okay. So that was the first thing. And the second thing, again, I'm going to be totally honest. I was going out to dinner last night, and I was also getting about 30% Josh Hart. And Josh Hart still had a Q tag at the time I had to, put in my lineups and leave. I just didn't need the stress and aggravation, so I X'd out of him too. So I X'd out of Josh Hart. I X'd out of Steven Adams, and I ran with whatever lineups were left. And then what I did is I made sure that, the right builds were in the right tournaments. I adjusted the sliders just a little bit. And we'll do that another time, maybe. Actually, we can do it for tonight's slate if you want. And then I just kind of ran with it. So little bit of art, little bit of science, little bit of gut, little bit of whatever. That's the way it is. All right, let me take a look at DraftKings. So you look at this, and this is an extremely difficult fade. This Hernan Gomez thing, right? You got, what am I missing here? Is Ja out somehow? No, he's in. He's in. Okay. De'Anthony Melton is getting a recency bias bump here, I think. Anyway, so they're really just two really strong top point per dollar plays, and that would be Hernan Gomez and Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Now, Alexander-Walker was kind of a struggler last night for a while, but if you're gonna have the ball in your hands in that many minutes, you're just gonna do well. That's just it. And I imagine he's gonna do well again. So those are two pretty strong plays, which is why if you look here, you get 60% and 40% ownership. So that's as far as straight value goes. The other thing you'll notice, obviously, is you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 New Orleans. You have 5 New Orleans guys in the top 10 here. So it's gonna lend itself to that type of play. By the way, I want to turn your attention to, since people brought up SaberSim a couple of times. They actually have a YouTube video. They do a really, really good YouTube series. They like almost every day. And there was one that I really wanted to watch today. I just kind of ran out of time. And the title of it was game stacking does not produce upside in GPP lineups. And I don't know what the thesis was. I don't know what they were going to talk about, but I can't wait to look at it, because that's something I think about a lot. No, the minutes projection is just the average. That's all. Yeah, the minutes projection gets no additional tweaking and back testing and stuff like that. I don't compare minutes projections to how many minutes they actually played. That's important. Yeah. So I forgot what I was saying. Yeah. So the point is that New Orleans, I'd like to know what the new theory is on whether game stacking matters or not. Because what you have whenever you play like a bunch of guys from the game, you have both positive correlation and negative correlation. You have too many guys that have to steal from each other's production. One guy can't make a shot when another guy is making a shot at the same time, right? But you have that overtime vig that kind of helps you, and I'd like to know if that matters. So I'm curious to see what they say about that. So you have 5 New Orleans guys. So you'd like to, again, from a pure theory, it would be nice to play the Boston guy as kind of a run back. But what do you do when even if you sort it by value score, you have like nothing. I mean, like the best you can do is like a Tatum, which is an atrocious play, So I don't think it's going to matter. In other words, if I'm going to play the New Orleans guys, I'm just going to play them. I don't care. I'm not going to waste some good plays with some bad ones, just in the name of making the lineup look pretty. And that was, and again, I'm not even sure if that's correct. I really don't. And that's what's kind of cool about this, Adam, like you're saying, is part of, look, they figured out that baseball stacking was important, right? No real debate. They figured out that hockey stack was important. That no real debate. They figured out to some degree that football correlation matters, right? Between quarterbacks and receivers. But the NBA correlation thing is really unsettled, So as long as it's unsettled, then it becomes, like you're saying, Adam, it becomes part of a function of how much people do it or not, So yeah, so that's the first thing I would comment on is this New Orleans thing. I don't think you have to play Boston guys if you are going to play like a bunch of New Orleans. The other thing is, now let's take a look at, I'm just ranking these guys, and it looks as though Embiid, that these 2 guys up at the top, Embiid and Luka, rate to be plays you kind of want to get in. They, obviously they're going to rate to score more points than Morant, but even considering their values, their salaries, I still think that they're going to be a better play. Now Morant, he was my hero last night, but how I really dislike the back-to-backs in general, especially when you need to have that many fantasy points, and you got a guy like Morant who, they're their, he's their franchise at this point. I mean, I don't know if this is the right thing to do to play him on the back-to-back. Harden, I don't know if this is possibly accurate, but a 12% Harden, is that at all possible? I mean, in general? Oh, because Kyrie is probably back, right? Is that the story? Yeah, okay. That's why both those guys are kind of low owned. But if he shows up, I'm not gonna dispute that. Look at some of these others. Porzingis 7,400, Curry, he hasn't put up a ceiling since the Eisenhower administration, right? And then these are the normal guys that show up. Butler and Bam, right? They always look good. What else looks good here? I'm looking at some lower owned guys. So Kyrie, I already mentioned. Brunson, Van Vliet, if he's actually under 10%, that's actually not bad. Sabonis, I can't imagine why he'd play. Is there any news on this? He just played overtime last night. He was like questionable going into last night's slate, and he was overtime. And they're really going to play him in a back-to-back? Is that happening? I guess. Let me see. Is there any news? Why on earth would he play? That's my question. But let me just see something. Butler will play. Sabonis and Duarte will play. You know what? So, no thanks. You know what? No, just no. And he's a guy, for example, that if he shows up, I'll just X him. I would literally just X him, just for no, just because. Now, I haven't even looked to see who these guys are playing yet, if you want to know the truth. So let me just take a look at this a second. Let me see what the let me see what these matchups are anyway. So Indianapolis is at Dallas. I will say this, by the way, that what's his name, Luka. I really feel as though, I don't know. This is a little too narrative driven, but I think he really would love to stick it to Carlisle if at all possible. So I think that he could have a really good game. That's probably no reason to play him, but anyway, Boston, New Orleans, okay, nothing that great. Sacramento at Philly. All right, so you don't have a big Washington, Memphis, Toronto, Miami. So nothing is like one of those like matchup standout matchup type things. So I'm not worried too much about that. So I think what we could probably do is just kind of run stuff, right, and see what happens. And I may as well just try this. Let me just do again exactly what I do. I'll rely on my projections to start, and I'll see what kind of lineups I get. And just because I get them doesn't mean I have to play them. Like, this is America, right? Last I checked. All right, so this is what I do. Okay, so I'm pulling it up, and I have a little different file than you do. Anyway, I upload the projections here. I just keep my file in a different spot. Otherwise, it's the same thing as downloading them from the site. Oh, so wait a minute. Oh, so I gotta find a different spelling. Sneaky, huh? What happened if I didn't do that? You know what? Let's see what happens if I didn't do that. What the hell, why not? All right, so now let's see what happens to Hernangomez. So I have to actually tweak this a little bit. Aha, so interesting. So what was my? That's so weird. All right, so that's one thing we've learned. So Hernangomez, I have him at 36.47. So let's change that. Oh, what a sneaky little thing that happened. 36.47. Let's do that. And now let's undo the filter. And now let's just run. Oh, hey, you know what? Let's lucky. So this is what I do. Okay, so this is the this was not the default. So it's kind of whatever. Let's try this again. So this is the default 150s. These look like the default 120s. And I don't know. See, what I like to do, I'd like to give a little bit of correlation, but again, this is just me. It's really art versus science. There's no answer, but I sometimes like to just what I like to call the 258 build. You know, a little bit more correlation, maybe a little less variance as far as the simulations go. Keep the ownership kind of in the middle. I don't know. Maybe this is like just kind of an OCD like way of looking at it, but that's what I like to do on slates of this size. So if I build it like this, I have minimum uniques 1. That's fine. I don't like to force the lineup to do what it doesn't want to do. I feel the simulations do enough to randomize stuff. I don't need to force randomization if I don't have to. Which is why, to answer you guys' questions, I usually don't impose my like. If someone's getting 100%, I won't say, I feel like 60. Usually, I'll just usually go with it. like for example, like in this particular build, I'm getting almost 100 of I'm getting 100 of Alexander Walker and 95 of Hernan Gomez, which it's fine. I'm really not gonna deal with that. So here, like you'll see, like what I like about these is like some weirdness. Now again, these are like 30 lineups. I see like a Reggie Bullock. Why on earth would I want to play Reggie Bullock? I don't know, but shows up in a couple of the simulations. I'll just kind of go with it. And I'll do this sometimes. What I'll do is I'll kind of look through this kind of line, these players. I'm like, who just don't I want? Who just do I not want to play? Okay, like for example, I don't like playing DFS, Dorian Finney-Smith. Just don't like doing it. So you know what? I'm just gonna X him. John Concher, I really have to play John Concher. That's what I've got up to do. I don't want to play him, so I got rid of him. And what's cool about SaberSim, it automatically like rebuilds your lineups with those guys out, which is kind of cool. And pretty much everybody else is fine, and the rest of these guys I've heard of. Steven Adams, I'm going to keep not playing Steven Adams. How about that? Andre Drummond, do I really want to play Andre Drummond? Yeah, I just don't feel like playing him. Just don't play him. And Steven Adams, I mentioned, I don't play him. So I'll just roll with this. And that's kind of what I like to do. Now this is Reggie Bullock thing. Do I really want to play Reggie Bullock? How many of him do I have? You know what? I don't even feel like playing Reggie Bullock. Someone else can play Reggie Bullock. All right, does that sound good? Does that sound fair? Why not? Okay. So like this one, by the way, this one is 5 New Orleans. Okay. Do I care? I don't know. Now this is where it gets down to it. Do you mind playing 5 New Orleans in a GPPs? Again, this is just me. I actually don't mind. And that's really, if you ask like 20, expert GPP players, like 19 of them will say you just don't want to play 5 guys from the same team. I just don't want to mess with the Sims right now. If they're telling me that if I play 5, that, I can get some upside, I'll do it. What I might do is I could pull in, stack types. You'll see I only have like 1 lineup with 5. Okay. So that's fair. I only have 1 lineup with 5. So I think I can get away with that. Right. So I'll just go ahead and fire these. And what's kind of cool? And this is what I love about a sim driven solution. And this happened before. Like I would run my stuff. I would run my whatever. I would cash, I would win. And then one of the subs even, or somebody like, I tried SaberSim. How come I can't get the same? How come I didn't get the same lineups as you? How do you even get to that? I don't know, man. You know what I mean? Like you run the same projections through the simulator 20 different times, you're going to get 20 different builds. And that's what's kind of cool about it. If you ran it through just a straight optimizer 20 different times with no randomness, you're going to get the exact same build, each time, which that's kind of what I think that's kind of cool. Yeah. Let's see. What's this guy here? Scotty Barnes. Yeah, why not? Okay. And we'll do FanDuel as well. And we'll see. And so now, and I'm gonna have to. By the way, I have to live with my decisions of like just Xing out, whatchamacallit, Xing out the Steven Adams and Xing out the DFS or whatever it is. I'll tell you this: the one guy who I would say, no, it's too much. I don't have that much. I have 13%, 13% Devontae Graham. I mean, he's playing on a back-to-back, even though his ankle maybe forced him out of the last game. But I have to feel that if he's good enough to play, he's good enough to play. So I don't have him that many lineups, but yeah. Okay, let me get questions before. No questions. Okay, so let's now do FanDuel. I'm actually not playing FanDuel tonight. But this makes it even better. So let's just try it. Actually, let me just see. Let me see what the FanDuel. I wasn't going to play FanDuel. Let me see what the contests are there. Oh, I'm going to play the lottery. Why not? Oh, I already missed it, right? Oh, there's like nothing left. Crap. But just to if you guys played already, then you could take advantage of this, right? So let's do this. Let's do the same thing. Let's upload. Krug NBA. Again, different file, but same. It's the same thing. Actually, here, just you guys want the demo, so we'll just for everybody that hasn't seen this before. Sorry about this. So if you pull up the projections, then what you do is you go into, for example, you can use for Fantasy Cruncher, Roto Grinders, or SaberSim, and you go File, Download, CSV, and that's where that file is. So now when you come in here, you go Upload CSV, and then find that thing. It should be right in your downloads, first thing. And then it goes like this. Oh, yeah. Okay, so, and this happens from time to time. It can't find a Cameron Thomas because we have him listed as Cam Thomas. Part of doing business, I guess. Good thing he's not playing tonight. He's not a big deal tonight. All right, so let's exclude all this, and let's just build. Let's see what would happen. Let's build for 20 max. So like right now, the default for 20 max has it looking like this, and you can just go with the SaberSim sliders. I think they do I don't want to say I think they do a good job. I think they try to do a good job. And these are very, very smart people that come up with these sliders. And they're very honest people. They're not like hustlers or anything. Max Steinberg and Danny and Andy Baldacci and all these guys. And Will's a freaking Will was like a freaking hero at like CSGO. If you guys ever play CSGO, I can't even play it, but I mean, he's like the greatest CSGO player ever. Anyway, so if they come up with these sliders, they're probably pretty good. But for me, I'll switch to manual just for the hell of it. Again, I'll play a 2-5-8 sometimes. And a lot of it is just feel of what I feel. If I feel as though my projections are a little weak, I'll throw out the sim variance all the way out to the right. If I feel as though projections are a little bit tighter, I'll bring this down a little bit and whatever. So let's play. Let's see what 20 lineups would give us. I don't want to screw with the min uniques. I don't want to screw with the max exposures. This is exactly what I don't want to screw with. I want to let the simulator tell me what my exposure should be. I don't want to tell the simulator what to do. Okay, I can always tell it I can always tell my lineups what to do later. I don't want to tell the simulator what to do, beforehand. So here, I mean, these all look good to me. I mean, like, you could play these if you want, and you could do this on your own. Again, I would probably get rid of Dorian Finney-Smith for no reason. And then once again, you're getting 100% Willy Hernangomez, and as such. And you always get a really high-owned Jalen Brunson because he's always very, very, very cheap on FanDuel. So there is that. Okay. For those of you that that's really funny, Adam. I actually played one CSGO slate. I couldn't do it. I was watching it and I was sweating it. I could sweat anything, but that I just couldn't do. I don't know if you guys have ever played it or watched it. I literally couldn't do it. Just watching the guys shoot each other watch the guys shoot each other and trying to figure it out. It's hard enough for me to watch MMA, but to actually watch that was really tough. Will Zalatoris literally has. Is it possible to have 0% body fat? How does a guy that weigh 140 pounds generate that kind of torque? That's what I want to know. Yeah, I agree with you. Now let's take a look at my this thing is still working. Let's take a look at my so unfortunately Yahoo is just not going to be supported tonight. Let me see FanDuel. Let me see if I'm still in the money here. Got to get there. No, I'm out of the money again. What are you doing to me? I'm 36, paying 34. What is going on? So what do I need? I need a Berger, Johnson, McNeil. You're +5. Are you kidding me? All right, let's take a look at this. This is going to be very tilting. Let me see. So I got to get past. So I'm in 36th. And 30th gets paid. No, 34th gets paid. Oh, these guys have no holes left. There's no way. I'm really not going to get past these guys. I've got 13 holes. Guys have 9, 7, and 6. I really can't get through this. Really annoying. Let me take a look at the DraftKings. I can't even look. Oh, still hanging in there in that one. There, 5 of 6 is tough. Oh, this is going to be a close one. Oh, goodness gracious. We got to check on Bobby in a second. Yeah, so check this one out. So this is the 555 on DraftKings. Been struggling with this Connors being out. Thank you for Neiman with the -5 today. You got it. 206th gets paid. They got all these guys. They got a lot of guys that are within a couple points of me. Oh no, they're gonna get me, aren't they? 10, 10, 11. We'll see. We will see about that. Let's pull up the let's pull up Bobby's. Let's see how he's doing, and then I'll get out of here. Just see. What's the pitch and putt, right? All right, let's pull up the pitch and putt. Let's find all my 0 for 10s. My 0 for 10s. Let's pull up let's see where Bobby is. If I can't find him in the top 25, I'm getting rid of him. Oh, there he is. He's still hanging in there. He's in 20th. It's $1,250 for a freaking $20 buy-in or whatever this is. This is not bad. So who's he got? He got Palmer, dude, you got Zalatoris and Rahm. I mean, how much you got? You can't do better than that, right? Well, Rahm's got to make it to first. That's the thing. He's got to he'll overtake List, right? List is -15. Palmer, if he can get it, yeah, he can. Let's see what these other guys have. See this what's kind of cool. See, like this guy above him has List, but List is in first. He's given first place money right now. So once List gets knocked out of first, List is dead. Not List is dead, but he's going to drop. Look at all these lists. This is really big, right? So all 3 of these guys have List. This guy's got List at 604. This is really, really big. List. See, this is kind of cool. The fact that he does not have Luke List gives him this kind of leverage here because of the scoring, right? If you look at it, right? Rules and scoring. List for first gets 30 points, but if he drops to second, he's going to lose 10 and then another 2 or whatever. So as long as you can get him out of first, then Bobby's going to pick up 10 points on all these guys. And if Bobby himself goes from Rahm to first, or heaven forbid, you get Palmer to first. See, all these guys have Rahm, so he doesn't. Well, this guy doesn't have Rahm. This guy doesn't have Rahm. So this is so he needs someone to knock List out of first, right? Starting with Zalatoris. I mean, Zalatoris can knock him out of first, right? Just by taking solo possession of first. which is kind of cool. This is one of the real cool things about the golf sweat is that like you can lose points even after you finish, right? How funny is that? You can be totally finished, you're not even on the course, and then you can lose points. But it's not even an anti-sweating List because List is finished. He's in the clubhouse. You know what I mean? Like that's helplessness, right? I mean, you can't do anything about it if you have a List guy. You're there. You're done. You have points, and all you can do is go down. Right? It's kind of cool when you think about it. All right. So those of you that have asked how are Mrs. Sheets and you going to be celebrating the big win from last night? We are going to be doing so in about 5 minutes. So I am going to bid you guys farewell. After I watch Billy Horschel try to make this birdie here. Let's see. All right, it's away. No, nope, not going to come back. Not going to come back. All right, good luck to Bobby. Let's get List off the board and get him. Once get Bobby in the top 10, then we can sweat. I mean, you can't really sweat right yet, but let's get in the top 10. Let's get, root for Rahm, root for who's the other guy he has? He has Rahm, Zalatoris, Palmer. Those would be the nuts.